Reserving the right to object. It is an astounding thing. There's a conversation that's happened today about amendments to the National Defense Authorization. Now, I haven't been here very long, but typically an NDAA takes about 2 weeks on the floor to be able to process. And there's a lot of conversation about different amendments. There's managers' packages. There's big groupings of packages that come together where they're non-controversial. Then there'll be a series of votes that are side by side and other votes. There's already been a setup for 20 votes. That's terrific. That's a great start. And then there's a request for some other things that are pretty typical, actually. There have been requests just in the last couple of minutes on military contractors and the vaccine mandate that will certainly affect our military readiness. That's certainly defense related. Human trafficking in China and whether products are coming through. It's pretty straightforward. In fact, that's passed unanimously through this body. That doesn't seem that controversial to be able to be in here. Conversations about fentanyl and the origin of fentanyl, where that's coming from, that shouldn't be controversial to try to protect the country, but suddenly that amendment's been blocked. Nord Stream 2, Ukraine and Russia has not been a controversial issue for us. This body has laid down sanctions multiple times on NDAA on this exact issue, and now it's being blocked. You can't even debate it. And myself and Senator Daines both brought up things tonight dealing with border security, which is certainly national security. 1.7 million people that we know of have illegally crossed our southwest border this year. It's the highest number of illegal crossings in the history of our country, 1.7 million. But on January the 20th of this year, President Biden stopped construction on the border wall. In many places, literally, where they only had to hang the gates and install the electronic infrastructure there, that was all that was left, but it stopped. Why is this connected to national security? Well, certainly border security is national security. Also part of this funding did come out of defense funding. It's being done by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in many places. And on top of that, this year, so far, just so far this year, we have paid contractors $2 billion not to build the wall. These were contracts that had already been let out to do the construction. We are continuing to pay about $3 million a day to contractors not to complete the wall in sections, by the way, in sections that career individuals had selected that section and that design and then had to prove it, that that was the right place in the right design to both Republican and Democrats in this body, which they did. Now we're wasting $2 billion to not do national security. My amendment's very straightforward. We take the contracts that are already out there and we complete those sections of the wall that have been approved by career individuals to complete those sections and not just throw the money away and waste $2 billion of American taxpayer dollars, but to actually use it for national security. So saying that, I ask that the request be modified to include my amendment 4100.